So, first things first, I want to get this off my chest. I don't like Thanksgiving because of what it was originally made for. It was originally made to celebrate the massacre of Native Americans, and eventually it was made a holiday by Abe Lincoln, who also wasn't a huge fan of Native Americans. Um, I really only watched this movie because one of my favorite YouTubers covered it, and honestly, I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed this movie. So, this movie follows a girl who's still dealing with the trauma of her biological mom leaving her on Thanksgiving Day. I think it's meant to give her a little bit more of an excuse to not like Thanksgiving when she already has like the reason I don't like it, what it was originally made for. She's like, you're just whitewashing history if you try and say that it's for, being grateful and gathering with family, because that's not what it was. Um, the guy that plays Carter in Final Destination plays the dad here, but he honestly doesn't get to do too much. He's just like the dad who's always on his phone, which is something you see in like sitcoms, not horror movies. Like this is stuff that I saw in, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, at least the fourth one. Or, like TV shows, man. Like I didn't expect it here. Doesn't really ruin the movie or anything. I also wasn't a fan with a lot of the stuff they tried to do to scare you, like, them distorting voices. Like, there's a random scene of, after she makes the wish, she wishes that this plan of hers will backfire. And, the little kid Tate, he's like, I hope your wish comes true. And then they immediately, a few seconds later, play, I hope your wish comes true, but like distorted and creepy. There's also, like, editing to make the characters look more scary. It just doesn't really do it for me. So the plot of the movie is the stepmom wants the family to get closer together. So to do that, she decides to have pilgrims over as a reenactment for Thanksgiving, and they're going to be over for a few days. People she's never met before that she met online. It feels so forced, man. Like, why would she trust them this much? Um, and how does she expect to bond with her daughter, well, her stepdaughter, by doing something that she knows her stepdaughter doesn't like? Like, she always has to, like, get on her, like, oh, don't say that, that's rude. But you're doing something that she doesn't want to be a part of. Of course, she's not going to like it. Um, it was just, I don't get how she thought that was going to help, bury the hatchet, was to do a Thanksgiving party when this girl doesn't like Thanksgiving. Um, so things get weird and weirder as the movie goes along. And here is by far the dumbest part, in my opinion. The pilgrims, Ethan and Patience, apparently ask to give up their cell phones because, you know, they didn't have cell phones back then. And the stepmom just goes along with it for some reason. Though later we see the dad with it. So was he only taking it from the one person, the stepdaughter? Because, I mean, as far as we saw, Tate didn't have anything. And, I mean, we never see the mom with anything. Maybe she gave hers up too. But wow, like just one person gave it up from what we see. Um, so, anyways, she has a boyfriend character, don't even remember his name. I think it might have been Finn, actually. Not sure, though. You know, he's just kind of there. Eventually, he gets killed off screen and they find the body. Well, she finds the body. And this was another dumb thing. She gets mad at her mom for not believing her that the stuff that's going on is weird. And, she drives. At least it seems like she goes to drive. We don't see her drive. But she takes her keys and leaves. So I would figure she's driving to go check on her boyfriend and talk to her boyfriend. Whatever. Or maybe it was keys to the house. I don't, maybe she had keys to the house. But, of course, she finds the boyfriend's body and she runs back home. Like, I thought those were her car keys. But apparently not. She went to go look for her boyfriend at daytime. It's nighttime by the time she gets home. Um, all three of them are able to kill one of the big guys. And they're like, oh, holy shit, we did a murder as a family, which is kind of corny. They come up with a plan where she will sneak around the house and the other two will go through the window, but the pilgrims are waiting and attack them and kill Carter's character, who I believe is named Shane in this movie. Um, which leads to another predictable thing. It's a Thanksgiving movie. They come to a feast, and even before they pull out the plates, I was like, yeah, his head's gonna be on the thing. And what do you know? It is. She somehow is able to poison the food, because it was hinted at earlier in the movie that there's these berries that are poisonous. And even though there's a bunch of pilgrims watching them make the food, at some point, I guess when they weren't looking, she was able to poison it. So she kills practically all the pilgrims but one. Even Patience, ends up succumbing to the poison, but Ethan does not. He gets killed by them. Um, then, there's also a little bit of a predictable thing for me anyway when she's fighting one pilgrim. I don't think Patience died to the poisoning. I think she did survive. I think she got like stabbed in the throat in this scene that I'm about to talk about. She uses Shane's head as like a weapon, and I saw that coming too. It was a fine movie. I thought the guy that played Ethan did a really good job at being creepy, and there was some tense moments throughout it, but um, I wasn't a huge fan, but I did enjoy the movie while watching it. It's only an hour and 14 minutes. It's on Disney, and that's how I watched it.